everybody, this is GGB Coles Puppers, and today we're going to be talking about the first game in the Divisional Playoffs!
Playoffs?
At 3:30, we got number 4, the 4-seed Bengals playing. It's sitting at 10-7, traveling to the number 1 Tennessee Titans, which finished the season at 12-5. Titans favored by 3.5 points on CBS. Let's go over the injuries real quick for both teams. The Bengals have Stanley Morgan. He has a hamstring injury, limited practice, questionable for the game. And Auden Tate has a calf injury, designated to return this week. We'll see if that holds up. Defensive end Wyatt Hubert has a pectoral out for this game, and Joseph Osai has a knee. He has a knee injury. He's out for the rest of the season. Defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi has a foot injury. He's on IR, so out for the season. Akeem Davis-Gaither, weak side linebacker, has a foot injury. He's also out for the season. Joe Baki has a COVID issue. He's not going to be able to play in this game. If they make it past it, we'll see if Baki can return. Strong side linebacker Jordan Evans has a knee injury. He's likely out for the season. Free safety Brandon Wilson has a knee injury, likely out for the season. Cornerback Darius Phillips has a shoulder injury. He's designated to return from IR this week. We'll see what happens. Running back Darrington Evans for the Titans has a knee injury. He's likely out for the year. Fullback Torrey Carter has an ankle injury. Designated to return this week. We'll see if that holds out. Tight end Michael Pruitt has an ankle injury. He's out for the season. Tommy Hudson has an ankle injury. He's on IR at least until this week. We'll see if he comes back. And Briley Moore McKinney has a knee ACL injury. He's on IR, likely for the season. Wide receiver Marcus Johnson has a hammy. He's out for the season, as well as Cam Batson has an ACL injury. He's also out for the season. Defensive end Trevon Coley, he has a foot injury, likely out for the season. And defensive tackle Tier Tart has an ankle injury, limited practice, questionable for the game. Left inside linebacker B.J. Bello has an ankle injury on IR, likely out for the season. Right outside linebacker Rashad Weaver has a lower leg injury, likely out for the season. Right inside linebacker Monty Rice has an ankle injury, designated to return this week. We'll see what happens with that. Greg Maben, cornerback Greg Maben has a COVID issue. We'll see if he can return. He's likely not going to return this week. Well, he might be able to return next week if they do pull it off this week. And cornerback Caleb Farley has a knee injury, out for the season. Kicker Sam Ficken has a groin injury on IR. Designated to return this week, but Randy Bullock's been kicking well enough. I doubt they move on from Randy Bullock and move to Sam Ficken, a kicker that hasn't kicked for them the entire season. So these teams are both really interesting. Obviously, the playoffs in the AFC is kind of crazy. I mean, outside of Kansas City is the only team to have won a Super Bowl of the 4 teams left in the AFC side of things. Compare that to the NFC, where you have the Niners, the Packers, and the Bucks, and the Rams. And those are the 4 teams that have represented them in the Super Bowl most recently. Bucks obviously last year, the year before that. The Packers hasn't gone in a while, to be fair. But the year before that, the year before the Buccaneers, it was who's the year before the Niners, and the year before that, it was the Rams, I believe. So these are teams that have represented these teams rather recently. The AFC's on odd side of things, so you have odd, but it's just these teams are a lot of fun to watch. Obviously, the Titans are getting back some key players, but the problem with getting back key players, it means you were without key players for a long time, and there's a bright side to that. Obviously, Derrick Henry is going to have less on his shoulders. He obviously hasn't had to take a full workload for the rest of the season, and honestly, the injury might have been a benefit to them, but obviously, you haven't been able to gel with all 5 or 4 of your main contributors in Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, Ryan Tannehill, and Derrick Henry. They haven't played a full game together, and quite possibly ever. I don't know, maybe at the beginning of the season they played a full game together, but Julio Jones was hurt for the beginning of the season, and then Derrick Henry went down right before Julio Jones came back. They were without A.J. Brown for a period in time. So, this is not a unit that has been together for a long time. Now, Joe Burrow's unit has. Not only does he have some chemistry with Higgins and Boyd, considering they played all last year and this year together, none of them have been really hurt for any substantial period of time, but you also have Jamar Chase, who has been his receiver in college. He's been his go-to guy for a long time, so it would make sense that they would have the same chemistry in the NFL, and they have. Not to mention that their tight end, CJ Uzomah, is legitimately underrated. He's honestly a big part of the offense that everyone kind of just forgets about. And then on top of that, you also have a great running back in Joe Mixon. I mean, like, this offense has the potential to be elite. The defense has some flaws, but so do the Titans' defense. These are not two of the better defenses, but you have Trey Hendricks in there. You get him back. He's one of your best defensive players on the unit. I mean, you have a solid defense. All these teams have solid defenses, but I got to go with the Bengals offense. I think they're more explosive, and I think Cincy pulls off the upset here. I think they go to Tennessee and pull it out.